Alrighty, folks, you know I'm feeling great on a Wednesday morning because we're now 11-1 with a push in our last 13 chairman package picks on my premium page. And the good news is I have another chairman package pick going off here today. And if you sign up for my full access, all-inclusive chairman package, you're going to get access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to my Chairman podcast absolutely free. It's going to be included with your purchase. Now, you may be wondering what the difference is between what I do here on the free videos and what I do on my premium page. Well, what I do here on the free videos is I'll handicap the entire slate of games in any given sport, side and total. And what I do on my premium page is, well, I actually share with you which one of these free plays on these videos that I actually like the best. I'm 4-0 with a push on my last 5 chairman package picks. And once again, as you know, I already said it, I'm also 11-1 with a push in my last 13 chairman package plays in that same category. And the good news is I have another chairman package pick going off here today. The site is patreon.com/BrockPage. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into some free content. We're going to start off with the Hornets at the Pacers, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Indiana is -10, totals 250. Now, the Pacers are the best shooting team in the game from the field. They're making a league-best 50% of their field goals. And no real surprise here, folks, the Pacers are leading the entire NBA in points per game. Tyrese Halliburton drills 43% of his three-pointers, team leader in points. Meanwhile, Aaron Nesmith knocks down nearly 45% of his attempts from downtown. They're facing a Charlotte team who lost their last 5 straight, and they're just not built for a track meet. They're currently in the bottom 5 in the East in points per game. For some reason, the Hornets really tend to start off slow. They're averaging fewer first-quarter points than any other team except for one. Now, injury-wise, Hayward, Bridges, Williams, and Mensah are questionable. Ntilikina, Martin, and Ball are still inactive. Meanwhile, for the Pacers, Andrew Nembhard's been scratched. Smith and Turner are also day-to-day. Now, total-wise, the Pacers are 10-3 to the over in the Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Meanwhile, Charlotte went 64% to the over on the road. Give me the Pacers -10, over 250. Next contest, Heat Magic. Little interstate, or is that intrastate? Interstate or intra? I think it's intrastate matchup here. Heat Magic, 7 o'clock East. Orlando's -4.5. Totals 220 and a hook. Now, the Magic's been tough to take down in the Amway Center. They're 11-2 straight up in their own building. They covered the point spread in 85% of those home games. And the Magic's biggest strength this year has been their rebounding on defense. Orlando leads the NBA right now in defensive boards per game at home. Wendell Carter snagging nearly double-digit boards a night. Paolo Banchero, he averages a handful of rebounds a night himself. Banchero boards, but also he is the club leader in points. They're facing a Miami team who's had a tough time covering the point spread here recently. These guys failed to cover in 5 out of their last 6. When it comes to rebounding the basketball, there's not many teams who are worse on the offensive end. Miami's a bottom 3 offensive rebounding team. Now, injury-wise, Lowry and Love are questionable. Jimmy Butler's been scratched. Meanwhile, for the Magic on the other side of things, Ingles is questionable. Fultz and Harris are still out. 3 out of Orlando's last 4 ball games fell under the total. Meanwhile, Miami saw unders recently against the likes of Charlotte, Cleveland, and Toronto. Give me Orlando -4.5, under 220 and a hook. All right, next matchup should be a good one. T-Wolves, Sixers, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Philadelphia is -2.5 at home, totals 226. And even though this will be a real tough test for the Sixers, I think they can get the job done here at home. They're a top 3 point-producing team in their own building. And Joel Embiid remains the league-leading point producer. Joe's averaging nearly 35 points a game, along with 11 boards. Tyrese Maxey's also drilling 40% of his three-pointers and averages over 25.5 points a night. Now they're facing a Minnesota team on the other side who failed to cover recently against the likes of the Pelicans, Spurs, and Jazz. And as good as these guys are defensively, well, they do tend to shut it down offensively in the second half. They're a bottom five fourth quarter scoring team in the West. Jalen Clark's out for the T-Wolves. Morris and Covington are questionable for Philly. Nicholas Batum has also been scratched for the Sixers. Now, Philly's last three straight fell under the total. Unders against the likes of the Bulls, Hornets, and Pistons. Meanwhile, Minnesota went 60% to the under in their last 10. Give me the Sixers minus 2.5, under 226. All right, next contest, Jazz, Cavaliers, 7 o'clock Eastern start time. Cleveland's minus 6, totals 228. The Cavs have gone 7-3 against the number in their last 10 outings. They're also playing some very stiff defense. These guys are in the top 10 in defensive field goal percentage. They're also making it tough for their opponents to score late in games. Cleveland's in the top 5 in the East in fewest fourth quarter points allowed. And they're facing a Utah team who's not known for their offensive prowess. These guys are a bottom 3 field goal shooting team in the West. And out of 14 ball games away from Salt Lake City, well, Utah has been pitiful. They got the W only 2 times in those 14 road games. They're a bottom 3 point producing team in their travels. Now, injury-wise, Clarkson, George, and Yurtseven are out for the Jazz. Jerome, Garland, and Mobley still inactive for Cleveland. The Cavs saw the under cash in 6 out of their last 10 ball games. Utah also saw unders recently against the likes of, not the Jazz. The Cavs saw unders recently against the likes of Brooklyn, Sacramento, and the Clippers. Give me Cleveland minus 6, under 228. All right, next game. It is going to be, we're all jacked up here on the big screen. Next game, Nuggets, Raptors, 7:30 p.m. East. Denver's the 4-point favorite, totals 229. Now, the Nuggets have played pretty well over the past week or so. They got the W in 4 out of their last 5. And they covered in all of those contests except for one. When it comes to shooting the basketball, not many teams do it better. The Nuggets are making nearly 50% of their attempts from the field. Nikola Jokic leads the roster in scoring, 3rd in the league in boards. Meanwhile, Jamal Murray's 2nd on the roster in points. He's making 44% of his attempts from beyond the arc. Now, they're facing a Toronto team who's played pretty bad over the past month or so. They took the loss in 7 out of their last 10. They covered in only 30% of those games. When it comes to offensive production, these guys have struggled shooting the basketball. They're in the bottom 3 in shooting the 3-ball. They also have the 2nd lowest free throw percentage in the entire NBA. Now, injury-wise, Christian Koloko is still out for the Raptors. Toronto's last 3 home games against the Western Conference fell under the total. Meanwhile, the Nuggets went 60% to the under in all of their road games this year. Give me the Nuggets minus 4, under 229. All right, next matchup. Battle for the Big Apple. Knicks, Nets, 7:30 p.m. East. The New York Knicks are minus 2, totals 234. And even though the Knicks are slightly favored in this one, they've certainly had their hands full with Brooklyn. They lost 8 out of their last 10 meetings with the Nets. So if you're into historical trends, you certainly want to think about that one there. And as far as this season's concerned, New York's just not a great shooting team. They're in the bottom 10 in offensive field goal percentage. And of course, the Nets have been tough to shoot against this year. They're currently in the top 5 in the East in guarding the field goal. And as short as this number is, you still got to consider the fact that, as short as this number is, you still got to consider the fact that Brooklyn covers a lot of numbers in the Barclays Center. These guys are 11-2 against the point spread in their own arena. Now, injury-wise, Lonnie Walker's still out. Dennis Smith has also been scratched. Meanwhile, for the Knicks on the other side, Jericho Sims is questionable with an ankle. When it comes to the total, the Knicks went 8-1 to the over in their last 9. They also saw 63% of their contests away from MSG get over the line. Now, the Nets on the other side, they saw overs recently against the likes of the Warriors, Kings, and Magic. Give me Brooklyn +2 over 234. Next contest, Hawks, Rockets, 8 o'clock Eastern start time. Houston's the 3-point favorite, totals 233.5. Now, the Rockets continue to be virtually unbeatable at home. These guys are 11-1 straight up in the Toyota Center, and they covered the point spread in all of those ball games except for one. And the biggest strength of this Rockets team this year has been their defensive effort. They're allowing fewer points a game than any other team except for one. Now, they're also limiting their competition to a league-low 31% shooting from three-land. They're facing an Atlanta team who lost 7 out of their last 10 themselves, and they were terrible against the point spread during that stretch. Out of those 10 contests I just mentioned, they failed to cover in all of them except for one. And of course, the Hawks' biggest issue this season has been their defensive play. They're letting their opponents make nearly 51% of their field goals against them. They also tend to bury themselves early. They're giving up more first-quarter points than any other roster in the league. Now, injury-wise, Johnson, Bufkin, Goye, and Griffin are still out. Bogey's questionable. Meanwhile, for the Rockets on the other side, Oladipo's still out. Tate and Thompson are day-to-day. The Rockets saw 3 out of their last 4 out-of-conference ball games get over the total. Meanwhile, the Hawks are 65% to the over for the entire season. Give me the Rockets -3 over 233.5. Next ball game, Lakers, Bulls, 8 o'clock Eastern start time. The LA Lakers are -4.5, totals 226. And even though this is a short number, the Lakers have been brutal against the point spread lately. They failed to cover in their last 4 straight, and they play their worst basketball on the road. Out of 14 contests away from Los Angeles, the Lakers got the W only 5 times. And the big thing that's hurt them on the road has been their defensive play. They're allowing over $120 a night in their travels. Now, they're facing a Bulls team who's done quite well on offense over the past month or so. As a matter of fact, these guys successfully covered the point spread in 8 out of their last 9. DeMar DeRozan averages a team-high 22 points a game. Nikola Vucevic snags double-digit rebounds a night. When it comes to the injury list, LaVine's still inactive. Jarrell's been ruled out. Meanwhile, for the Lakers on the other side, LeBron and AD are day-to-day. Hood Schifino's been scratched. 3 out of the Lakers' last 4 contests did get over the total. Overs against the likes of the Spurs and Mavericks. The Bulls are currently 5-0 to the over against the Western Conference at home. Give me the Bulls +4.5 over 226. All right, next contest, Clippers, Mavericks, 8:30 p.m. East. The Clippers are the 3-point favorite, totals 239.5. And speaking of the total on this one, the Clippers saw their last 3 straight all get over the number. Overs against the likes of the Pacers, Knicks, and Warriors. The Mavs went 7-3 the over in their last 10 themselves. And out of a dozen contests in their own building, the over cashed in nearly 70% of those ball games. Now, when it comes to selecting a winner in this one, this game is being featured as my extra daily pick on my premium page. But as far as making a free pick is concerned, give me the over 239.5. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup for the video. Going to be in that Celtics-Kings game, 10 o'clock Eastern start time. Sacramento's -2.5, totals 237. Now, the Kings won their last 3 straight. And I'll tell you, they're playing pretty well at the Golden One Center. They're 10-3 on their own court, and they're also a top 5 point-producing team at home. De'Aaron Fox averages over 30 points a game. Domantas Sabonis snags a dozen boards per contest. And they're facing a Boston club who does not play their best on the road. Now, short as this number is, you still got to consider the fact that this may be the worst road covering team in the NBA. Out of 12 contests away from the Garden, the Celtics covered the point spread only 2 times. And as good as they've been offensively this year, well, the Celtics just can't shoot the three ball on the road. They're in the bottom three in shooting from downtown away from home. Horford, Porzingis, and Tatum are questionable for Boston. Luke Cornett's still out. 6 out of Boston's last 9 contests did get over the total. Meanwhile, the Kings went 7-2 to the over in their last 9 themselves. Give me the Kings minus 2.5 over 237. And with that, folks, now it's time for our quick pick recap. Give me the Pacers minus 10 over 250. Magic minus 4.5 under 220 and a hook. Sixers minus 2.5 under 226. I'm 11-1 with a push in my last 13 chairman package picks on my premium page. And the good news is I have another chairman package pick going off here today. The link for my site is in my bio. Cavaliers minus 6 under 228. Nuggets minus 4 under 229. Brooklyn Nets plus 2 over 234. Rockets minus 3 over 233.5. Bulls plus 4.5 over 226. Give me the over 239.5 in the Clippers Mavericks game. With my next and final pick for the video, give me the Kings minus 2.5 over 237.